Jennifer and Sherry have both decided to find ways to save money on their electric bills during the hot summer months. An important piece of information is the air gap underneath the front door. The air gap under Jennifer's front door is 3/16 of an inch, while Sherry finds she has a gap of 5/16 of an inch under her front door. Use the fraction bars below to model the two air gaps and to determine whether Jennifer or Sherry is losing more cool air under the front door. Express your reasoning using complete sentences. All right, let's highlight the important information here. We know that the air gap under Jennifer's door is 3/16 of an inch, while Sherry has an air gap of 5/16 of an inch. And there's three things we have to do here. We have to model the two air gaps using the rectangles below. We have to determine whether Jennifer or Sherry is losing more cool air, and of course we have to do it in complete sentences. Now, each fraction bar below is divided into 16 equal pieces, so it doesn't really matter which one we represent as Sherry or which one we represent as Jennifer, because Jennifer has 3/16 of an inch, which is 3 copies of 1/16, and Sherry, her gap is 5/16 of an inch, which is 5 copies of 1/16. So, since we're both comparing copies of 1/16, it doesn't matter which fraction bar goes to which person. So we'll just let the top one represent Jennifer and the bottom one represent Sherry. Now, like I said, each fraction bar is divided up into 16 equal pieces. So each portion of the fraction bar represents 1/16. I don't have to label every single one. We get the idea. Now let's label Sherry's. We'll label a few of hers so we can see the pattern that each portion of the fraction bar represents 1/16. Now let's shade in to represent the fraction that is going to be the amount of the gap under the front door. Jennifer is 3/16 of an inch, so that's 3 copies of 1/16. So we shade in 3 of those. Sherry is 5/16 of an inch, so that's 5 copies of 1/16, so we shade in 5 of those. Visually, we can see that Sherry's gap is larger than Jennifer's because Sherry's shading covers more of the fraction bar than Jennifer's, but there's also another reason why Sherry has a larger gap than Jennifer. Since we are comparing copies of the same fraction, we can conclude that 5 copies of 1/16 is greater than 3 copies of 1/16. This means that 5/16 is greater than 3/16. Sherry has a bigger gap, so she is losing more cool air.